SRS adalah singkatan kepada Secondary Supplement Retain System, yang bermaksud sistem sokongan kedua atau skandal selepas tali pinggang keledar jika berlakunya kemalangan. Tujuan beg udara adalah untuk memberikan bantalan lembut dan kekangan bagi penghuni kenderaan semasa berlakunya kemalangan. Ia dapat mengurangkan kecederaan antara penumpang dan bahagian dalam kenderaan. Sistem penahan kenderaan yang menggunakan beg yang direka untuk melambung dengan sangat cepat kemudian mengempis dengan cepat semasa pelanggaran. Jenis kedudukan SRS airbag. 1. Driver airbag. Di bahagian steering wheel pemandu boleh melindungi kecederaan di bahagian kepala dan dada. Yang kedua, passenger airbag. Berada di bahagian dashboard di sebelah passenger, boleh melindungi penumpang daripada tercampak ke depan kenderaan. Yang ketiga, side airbag. Berada di bahagian sisi tempat duduk, boleh melindungi kecederaan di bahagian sisi. Yang keempat, curtain airbag. Di bahagian tingkap kenderaan, memberi perlindungan kepada kepala dan juga leher. Yang kelima, knee airbag. Di bahagian bawah dashboard, dicipta untuk melindungi bahagian lutut. Yang keenam, rear airbag. Di bahagian belakang kerusi hadapan untuk melindungi penumpang yang berada di bahagian belakang.
Fungsi SRS airbag. First, tali pinggang keledar adalah merupakan sistem utama perlindungan kepada pemandu untuk mengurangkan impak kemalangan. 2. Alat keselamatan dalam bentuk suplemen untuk tali pinggang keledar dengan protensional. Kedua-dua ciri ini hanya digunakan sekali untuk mengelakkan penumpang mati atau cedera serius di kepala, leher dan dada. 3. Mengurangkan daya hentaman yang kuat. 4. Melindungi daripada tercampak keluar kenderaan dan serpihan kaca yang pecah.
Binaan SRS airbag. Airbag diperbuat daripada fabrik nylon. Airbag direka mengikut kesesuaian jenis kenderaan dan kedudukan di dalam kenderaan. Airbag turut dilengkapi dengan lubang yang akan terbuka dengan sendiri setelah beg udara tersebut mengembang sepenuhnya. Ini adalah untuk membolehkan gas yang terhasil dibebaskan dari airbag dan mengelakkan kejadian lemas serta mengelakkan pemandu atau penumpang melantun ke belakang akibat daripada tindak balas graviti.
Komponen SRS atau airbag terdiri daripada airbag modul. Yang kedua ialah clock spring connector. Yang ketiga ialah crash sensor. Yang keempat, Safino sensor and deceleration sensor. Yang kelima ialah airbag system warning lamp. Dan yang terakhir ialah diagnostic module. Berikut merupakan fungsi komponen SRS atau airbag. Yang pertama ialah airbag module. Airbag module ialah fungsi dia yang akan memantau sistem beg udara dan mengenal pasti isyarat jika berlaku pelanggaran. Yang kedua ialah clock spring connector. Komponen ini akan memastikan sambungan tidak terputus ke modul beg udara semasa pusingan roda steering. Yang ketiga ialah crash sensor. Ia diaktifkan menjadi tertutup apabila kesan kemalangan dikesan dan dengan sensor melengkapkan litar ke inflator. Yang keempat ialah Safino sensor and deceleration sensor. Ia terletak di sebelah unit pemanas di tempat duduk penumpang. Yang kelima ialah airbag system warning lamp. Komponen ini akan menyala dan berkelip jika kerosakan berlaku dalam sistem beg udara. Dan yang terakhir ialah diagnostic module. Ia mengawal komponen dan pemasangan kabel dalam sistem beg udara.
kebaikan SRS atau airbags. Nombor 1 adalah mengurangkan risiko kematian sewaktu mengalami impak. Yang kedua adalah mengurangkan kecederaan atau patah. Menghalang sepihan kaca yang pecah daripada terkena penumpang ataupun pemandu. Yang keempat adalah mengurangkan risiko keuangan. Yang kelima adalah penumpang dan pemandu tidak tercampak keluar. Keburukan SRS atau airbag hanya boleh digunakan hanya sekali saja. Selain itu, menggunakan kos yang tinggi untuk servis semula airbag selepas digunakan tidak dapat menyelamatkan nyawa 100%. Ia mempunyai kesan sampingan seperti lebam.
Cara operasian SRS airbag. Semasa pelanggaran, airbag sensor akan mengukur kadar hentaman yang terhasil. Jika nilai yang diukur melebihi kadar yang ditetapkan, sumbu injektor yang terdapat di alat pengembung inflator akan terbakar. Yang kedua, sumbu injektor akan membakar penggalak enhancer dan bijan propellant dan menghasilkan gas di dalam jumlah yang besar. Yang ketiga, gas akan mengembangkan beg untuk mengurangkan kesan hentaman kepada penghuni kenderaan. Selepas selesai mengembang gas yang akan keluar dengan cepat melalui lubang pelepasan discharge hole yang terdapat di belakang beg. Ini akan mengurangkan kesan hentaman beg dan menghasilkan pemandangan yang secukupnya. Yang keempat, beg udara mengembung keluar dari tempat simpanannya pada kadar kelajuan yang teramat pantas, iaitu lebih daripada 200 mph. Proses ini hanya mengambil masa kira-kira 1/25 saat. Lebih pantas berbanding kelipan mata.
Ini adalah video operasi SRS airbag.
During a frontal collision, occupants continue moving with the force of the vehicle's speed prior to the crash. Known as inertia, this force can carry occupants into the steering wheel, dashboard, or windscreen, causing serious injury. The purpose of seatbelts and airbags is to safely stop the effects of this inertia and protect occupants from possible injury. Seatbelts are designed to prevent occupants from sudden forward movements and provide excellent general protection from injury. They also ensure occupants are in the correct position for airbag deployment. Airbags are designed to deploy only during moderate to severe collisions and can operate in different combinations depending on the type and severity of collision. The system usually comprises front, side, and curtain airbags. Front airbags deploy in frontal or frontal offset impacts. Located in the steering wheel hub and passenger side dashboard, they are designed to minimize head, neck, and chest injuries. Side airbags protect occupants during side impacts and may also deploy during vehicle rollover. Located in the sides of front seats, they are designed to inflate between occupants and doors or B-pillars, minimizing head, neck, and chest injuries. Curtain airbags also protect occupants during side impacts and may also deploy during vehicle rollover. Located in the roof lining between the A and C pillars, they are designed to cover windows, minimizing head and neck injuries to passengers in both the front and rear seats. They are also designed to minimize the risk of an occupant's arms or body exiting the vehicle during a collision and to reduce the risk of injury from broken glass. So, how do all these components work? Sensors constantly measure deceleration and vehicle direction. The Airbag Control Module samples this data continuously, monitoring for rapid deceleration. If sufficient deceleration is detected, the system takes action. Within about 20 milliseconds, it evaluates the speed and direction of the deceleration. First, the seatbelt pretensioner tightens the seatbelt across the occupant's lap and chest to restrain the occupant from excessive forward movement and ideally position them for airbag deployment. As the occupant's inertia drives them forward, a load limiter relaxes the seatbelt's tension in a controlled manner to reduce the amount of pressure on the occupant's chest. If the impact force is sufficient, airbags will also deploy at about the same time. In a frontal impact, a signal ignites a chemical reaction producing a rapid expansion of nitrogen gas, inflating the airbag within about 30 milliseconds.
Have you ever wondered how one of these airbags work? An airbag is used to prevent your head from hitting a steering wheel in a crash. Now the way an airbag system works is you've got these crash sensors that sit on the front of the car that tell the SRS computer that the vehicle has crashed, and then the computer sends a 12-volt signal out to the inflator that sits behind the airbag. Now inside this inflator, we've got a chemical reaction of sodium azide that decomposes into nitrogen gas really rapidly, and that's what fills the airbag, cushioning your head from impacting the steering wheel. So here we've got an airbag out of a Honda. It's already been exploded. This was subjected to one of the famous Takata airbag recalls, so I'm going to take it apart and show you how it works inside. Now airbags come in all shapes and sizes, including side torso airbags for the outboard seats, as well as curtain airbags from the roof. Now the Takata airbag recall was to recall these inflators because they would explode with too much force, and that'll cause shrapnel to come through the airbag and into your face, and that could cause death or even worse, injury. So this here is your airbag assembly. This whole entire thing acts as a horn switch. So if you turn it over here, you'll see that this U-shaped bracket on the bottom is your contact pad for the horn, and if you squish it in, it makes contact like that. There's 3 points of contact, one here, one over here, and one over here. So on the back here, we've got these 2 connectors that go to your electrical connection for the charge to explode it. I'm just going to remove that. And then you can pull the wires out individually like that. The next thing I'm going to do is remove this airbag inflator from the airbag assembly. So there are 4 tamper-proof nuts here. I'm just going to use a vice grip. There's a special tool you can use to get these off, but I'm just using a vice grip to wind these out. I can then remove the airbag inflator from the airbag assembly by carefully lifting it off the studs. And that's it right there. Now this airbag inflator is pretty much like a bomb. When you apply a charge here, it actually explodes the sodium iodide inside, which produces a nitrogen gas very rapidly, and it escapes through these holes to fill the airbag. Now this assembly looks like it's been fused together at the factory, so I'm not going to open it, but this is where your serial number is that you can check to see if this airbag is covered under a recall. Now by the way, it's just the airbag inflator that's replaced during the recall. They're not actually replacing the entire airbag assembly. So here's the rest of the airbag. You can see how it's folded up in there. I'm just going to remove these tabs here where it hooks onto the housing. And then now I'm going to come in with a Phillips screwdriver and remove the 3 screws that have the spring on them for the pivot of the horn switch. And that's what that looks like. So now that all the Phillips screws are removed, I have to remove the plastic outside tabs, which are these tabs on the outside here, just using a screwdriver. And now I'm going to pull this frame out with the airbag, and that reveals the airbag and the airbag cover. This here is your airbag cover. Now normally this would be sealed, but on the back here you can see that there's a score line where the airbag is supposed to explode like this. And now I'm going to remove the frame of the airbag, and that reveals the actual bag itself. It's not folded up properly because this airbag has been exploded before. Alright, now I'm just going to remove this white piece from the top, and that reveals the actual bag itself. The whole entire airbag is really held on by these 4 studs. So this here is roughly the size of the airbag when it's inflated. If you turn it over on the back here, you'll see that there's these 2 vent holes to vent all of the nitrogen gases out a couple of seconds after it's inflated, so the driver can regain control of the vehicle after collision. Now the airbag is actually made of this really strong nylon woven material that can withstand the heat and the explosion of the airbag. So this is pretty much all the components that make up the airbag. It's definitely a device that can save your life, kill you, or maybe even injure you. So make sure you get your airbag recall done. One quick tip, never take apart an airbag that hasn't been exploded yet, because this is pretty much a ticking time bomb.
Okey, sekian, terima kasih.